Hello, welcome to Latinos in Michigan TV. I'm your host Liliana Ospina Herbstreit. Today we have a very special guest. His name is Mark Moreno, the new Executive Director of the Michigan Hispanic Chamber of Commerce. Mark, welcome to Latinos in Michigan TV. Please tell us more about you. Who is Mark Moreno?
For sure. Well, thank you, Liliana. I hail from Michigan. I'm born in Dearborn and grew up in Detroit. And then our family moved to Canton, Michigan. So I grew up in the suburbs. I am one of two children. I have a sister, and both my parents were pretty much blue collar parents. Both worked in the automotive industry for Chrysler for many, many years. My father in the plants and my mother in the secretarial role. But so from my side, my family was very small, and my parents come from different heritages. My mother's heritage is Polish. She was born here, and her mom, but my grandparents were born in Poland. And then my father's side is from Mexico. So my father was born here in the U.S. as well as I was, but my grandfather and everyone before him, they were born in Mexico. So with respect to my own family, I'm married to a wonderful wife, Marcy. We've been married for 29 years. And met her early on in my life in high school, and been with her ever since. So she was the one God had planned for me. Our marriage resulted in 3 children. We have 3 children as well: Jessica, Emily, and Jacob, and they're pretty much grown adults now. So I only speak a few words in Polish, but I do speak Spanish. And that is only because of studying the language in high school and college.
Mark, tell me more about why did you decide to learn Spanish, and how did you learn it?
Well, let's go maybe a little bit farther back. As I was growing up, as I shared with you, I did not grow up speaking Spanish nor Polish, and that side of the family, my mother's side of the family, was equally proud of their heritage, their Polish heritage, and we enjoyed very similar activities and functions with her side of the family as well. However, as I continued through grade school and then into high school, I needed to take a foreign language class. And so I figured with a last name like Moreno, I probably ought to take a Spanish class and learn how to speak Spanish and maybe bring the Spanish language back into our family again, right? And so I fell in love with the language. I had a wonderful teacher all 4 years of high school, and then continued to study the language in college. And so I attended a small school in the state of Ohio called Wittenberg University, where I studied the Spanish language, and I studied business administration. So I was able to continue with my love for the Spanish language. At that time, I realized that Spanish was moving forward, forging ahead, and was going to be a very dominant language in the United States as well as the world, right? And so with that knowledge and understanding, I wanted to continue my studies of Spanish and look to incorporate it into a career in one way, shape, or form. So I chose to go to Spain, and I studied in Spain my junior year of college to really master the language. Yes, I could have went to any other Latin American country as well, but I had an affinity for the arts as well, and a deep desire to see Europe and different countries in Europe. So that's why I chose Spain, and I lived in Valencia, Spain, on the coast of the Mediterranean, for a calendar school year, and it was a wonderful experience. And I chose to stay the entire year. many of the students that were abroad on that same program that I participated in only chose to go for one semester. But I chose from the onset to make it a full year. And I was really grateful that I did, because those students that only stayed for 3 months, they were just starting to grasp the language and really being able to speak and understand it. And then they had to go home. But I was able to continue and stay there with my host family and the friends that I had made, continue to study at the University of Valencia in the city, and then came back to finish my senior year of college. And from there launched into a career in procurement and supply chain. Again, having studied business and with the Spanish language background, I knew and had set for myself as a goal to live and work in a Spanish-speaking country.
What were you doing before becoming the new executive director of the Michigan Hispanic Chamber of Commerce?
I was here in Detroit. I finished my career with American Axle in manufacturing in April of 2019, and then took some time off to think through what I wanted to do next. I have, as I mentioned, I have 3 children. They're pretty much all grown up. Our last child, our third child, is entering his final year of college, we have our oldest daughter, Jessica, is married. She's been married for 4 years, and then our next child, Emily. She graduated from college in May of 2019 and is living in Pasadena, California. And our son is attending a college in San Diego, California, studying marine biology and playing Division II soccer. But for me, I needed to take some time off and just think through what I wanted to do next. And so in October, well, before October, I began consulting with some friends and former colleagues about my options and opportunities, and based on my experience and interests, I wanted to continue to come alongside and work with small business owners. And in October of 2019, I started my own business, M Squared Integrating LLC is the name of it, and the premise and the purpose was to come alongside small business owners, visionaries of small companies who were looking to get some help to integrate the different functional areas of their businesses, whether it was on the supply chain side, the accounting side, human resources side, and so that's why I created the company. But almost about the same time, I received a phone call from the chairman of the board of the Michigan Hispanic Chamber of Commerce, Jesse Venegas. And we entered into conversations during those last months of 2019 about the possibility of, and my interest of leading the MHCC. And so what after a lot of careful thought and consideration, what I decided is that I can take my interest and desire to help small businesses and owners from a small scenario of working with 2 or 3 private business owners to a much broader scale and work with many business owners and really seek to help a lot of business owners, and then couple that with my desire to continue in the Spanish language and speaking Spanish, right? So there's a quote from an American author, speaker, and pastor that I really appreciate. His name is John Maxwell, and he writes books primarily focusing on leadership. And one quote I've appreciated and I've used, I relied on and thought through a lot last year, was that a successful person finds the right place for himself, but a successful leader finds the right place for others. And so as I thought through that and was entertaining the possibility of leading the chamber, that is one thing that helped propel me to make that move, because I feel that, I can be a part of something bigger than myself, and really look to help others, continue to prosper their business and take it to the next level.
What's the most challenging issue right now with the COVID-19 pandemic?
I think the most challenging thing is that all industries are suffering simultaneously. My experience is that when, for example, when the automotive industry suffers a downturn, small businesses and others have an opportunity to shift their focus to other potential customers and clients in different industries, whether it's aerospace or agriculture or industrial or construction or medical, whatever it might be, right? But the one of the biggest challenges, for me and with our membership is to help them, help steer them down a particular path at this time, because everything was shut down at the same time, right? And they really couldn't seek opportunities. Very difficult to seek new opportunities because every industry was suffering. Every industry was shut down, and really the only opportunity for a number of months was to pivot businesses to manufacture PPE, right? That was a big opportunity. But what about service type businesses, right? There wasn't a whole lot of opportunities for them, because they're not manufacturing, to continue to provide their product and their services. And so for me, that's been probably the biggest challenge. And so we've really sought to stay relevant and engaged as a chamber, to continue to stay in contact with, not just emails and e-blasts, but personal phone calls to our membership to check in and see how they're doing, whether, it's, from a family standpoint to a business standpoint to, the financial side. We've sought to provide, multitude of informational paths, for financial vehicle relief, whether it was the PPP early on to grants and other opportunities that they might not be well informed of, right? And we've continued to partner and really tap into a lot of our colleagues in other chambers and other nonprofits, corporate partners, and other agencies that have offered, webinars and educational sessions to help business throughout this crisis, right? And we pivoted as well, like most other companies, going virtual and held webinars on what it means to work successfully remotely. And all that entails, from not just the technical side of having necessary equipment and safety and security precautions, but dealing with the interruptions at home and things like that and kids that need to be taught still, in school virtually, to cybersecurity and the importance of that, because so many unhealthy opportunities were arising for individuals that were trying to take advantage of people and businesses during this crisis as well. So the importance of having appropriate measures for your business to protect your business and your home, to the aspects of mental health and the toll that being in lockdown takes for individuals, and the depression that can set in, and the difficulties and the struggles that always seem to be in your face when dealing with this kind of a crisis.
How is the Michigan Hispanic Chamber of Commerce going to help small businesses here in Michigan?
I think for me, first and foremost, we need to stay the course. As a chamber, we need to and seek to stay, engaged and relevant with our membership. While we continue to adjust our calendar of programs and events for 2020, we have our sights set on 2021 already, and looking at what that year ahead looks like, right, for us from a programming and providing the educational and professional opportunities for our members, believing that it will remain a very difficult year for businesses and small business owners in particular.
What will be the message for the community here in Michigan?
For us and for me in particular, the message that I would give to and do give to small business owners is, embrace the need to change. It may be more drastic for some business owners than others, but if you continue to fight it and resent what you are going through, you will not be able to keep a positive outlook and focus, and it will surely bring you down. I myself have had moments of anger, particularly in March when this started, right? Where I was angry that people and businesses needed to incur all this extra effort, change direction, all this extra cost from, like I said, from parents needing to address the educational needs of their kids while at home and having to work from home, to the aspect of rewriting policies and procedures and all these extra costs that were involved in the effort just started to anger me. But once I needed to refocus as well and say, okay, stop fighting this. Change is inevitable. You need to embrace it and look to be a part of the solution and seek to provide the necessary assistance that you can in this time of need, right? And so that would be my message to small business owners. As challenging and as difficult as it is, embrace the need to change. Like I said, it might be more drastic for some. It might be changing, your business model completely, or it might be, looking at pivoting from a certain type of a product to another, or simply seeking to find new customers in different industries. This is a totally different, environment and world that we're living in, and the aspect of international business, has changed tremendously as well, right? Large corporations, a lot of our partners, the procurement and supply chain efforts, they're reining in from the foreign suppliers to buy more domestically, to cut the supply chain costs and really mitigate the risks involved that come with that. And the obvious risk right now is just the suffering and the challenges that those businesses face because of the pandemic.
Mark, thank you for this wonderful interview. And if you like this interview, don't forget to like us on Facebook and share this interview in your social media channels. Bye.